I feel inspired looking at this rose. I smell its wonderful scent. What is the difference between feelings and senses? Let's try to understand in this video. Hi, I'm Dr. Alexandrina Vanke, and this is Key Concepts from the Urban Life of Workers in post-Soviet Russia engaging in everyday struggle. In this video, we will talk about senses. When we talk about feelings, we mean something which is subjective, something emotional, which is emerging inside of us on the one hand. On the other hand, Raymond Williams claimed that feelings can be over-individual. For example, when people share some cultural patterns, feelings which are dominant in a particular period of time. But when we talk about senses, we mean something which is external. Senses are our reactions to the stimulus from the outer world. It is considered to be that there are 5 senses of perception: vision, touch, smell, taste, and hearing. In Phenomenology of Perception, Maurice Merleau-Ponty writes that sensation is a unit of experience and that senses exist as perception of something. Sociologist Nick Crossley writes that senses are embodied experiences. So the body in this case is a sensual being. The body knows the world through senses. Maurice Merleau-Ponty writes that senses are spatial. It means that senses are activated in the physical realm. For example, when we live in a neighborhood, when we go out in the city, we gain particular senses, or our senses are activated through our perception of the physical space. In the book, I view senses as an umbrella concept, which is part of more complex concepts like a sense of place, a sense of time, a sense of local atmosphere, a sense of inequality, a sense of social justice, and some others. And through this configuration of senses, people can navigate social, spatial, gender, class, ethnic, racial divisions in society and in the city. The concept of senses can be better explained with the help of the approach of habitus by Pierre Bourdieu. By habitus, Bourdieu means a sense of one's place. It means that sometimes we feel out of place, or when we feel comfortable in a particular context, in a particular situation, in a particular social milieu. Habitus is a system of stable, transferable dispositions or tastes, preferences, and schemes of perceptions, appreciation, and evaluation of something. Some scholars criticize Bourdieu for the concept of habitus, which is considered to be either rigid or not applicable to the study of social change, but some scholars do not agree with this. For example, Loïc Wacquant explains that habitus has emotional, affective dimensions, moral dimensions, values, and these dimensions of habitus allows us to think about how people can contribute to social change. In my research, I find the concept of a sense of place, which was developed by human geographer Doreen Massey, quite important. In her essay, A Global Sense of Place, Doreen Massey writes that women and men have different senses of place. For example, women can feel unsafe in particular places in the city in different periods of time, in daytime or during the night. And it means that there is a women's sense of place and a man's sense of place. I empirically developed the concept of a gendered sense of place in deindustrializing neighborhoods with mixed social compositions. Working class people living and working in these industrial neighborhoods feel some places as theirs, while some others as not theirs. For example, when we talk about hairdressing salons for women or auto services where working class men work, then these specialized class divisions are visible, are felt, are experienced and sensed. The concept of global sense of place, coined by Massey, helps us to think about both global and local dimensions of place. What does it mean? When you go out in the city or in your neighborhood, you can meet different people from your local community, migrant people which came from other countries, or you can go to the local market and buy local food, or you can go to the supermarket and buy products which traveled from other parts of the globe, or you may be part of international connections, relationships which are present in a particular place. And at the same time, global flows of capitals, global events, macro events affect what is happening in our everyday lives in particular places. Another concept which is important for my development of senses is the concept of a sense of inequality, which was coined by Wendy Bottero in her book with the same title, A Sense of Inequality. Wendy Bottero adopts quite a broad definition of a sense of inequality, by which she means beliefs, perceptions, reflexive and self-conscious values, some expressions of injustices and justices or struggles against inequalities, which take forms of either open protests or resistance, or even she means some tacit ways of thinking about inequalities, feeling them, experiencing them, navigating them, and knowing the world. Drawing on her research of resistance and everyday politics in Russia, sociologist Karine Clément found out that working class people, ordinary people in Russia, gain a sense of inequality in their socio-material environments, and that people form a habitus of a place in society through being part of these local communities, socio-material environments. In my book, I argue that we should study a sense of inequality together with a sense of place and other senses, like a sense of time, a sense of local atmosphere, a sense of social injustice. And these help us to look at divisions, spatial, gender, racial, ethnic, class divisions, and inequalities in a more complex and a nuanced way. In the book, I define habitus as a unifying principle, as an ensemble of senses. I view senses here as theoretical constructs and concepts, which are multiple and numerous. This configuration of senses allow people to gain the understanding of the world and navigate their world in everyday lives. And these multiple senses, configurations of a sense of place, a sense of inequality, and other senses help people to gain multiple dispositions through unequal class, gender, racial, ethnic, age relations in physical space. And multiple dispositions help people not only navigate inequalities, but also invent the ways of how to react to them creatively and in such a way to contribute to social change in everyday lives.